Hello friends, welcome to Equation Solving 101, where I'm going to try to take you through basics of how to solve an equation, which is something you've done in 7th grade math, but we're going to kind of take it to the next level. Number one, your goal with solving an equation is always to get x alone, which means you're trying to get your variable on one side of the equal sign all by itself. Your approach is always going to be the idea of do, undo, which means you're going to do the opposite action. So if what you're looking at is a multiplication situation, you're going to divide. And in the same way, if what you're looking at is addition, you will subtract. So let's look at this very basic equation right here. It's going to give us steps for solving. So first thing we're always going to do is distribute. You'll hear me say that a bunch of times because you want to always start with distributing. Now, you want to be really careful here with your distributing because you're going to notice that you are going to distribute not just a 2, but a negative 2. So here we go. We're going to distribute the negative 2 to the x and then the negative 2 to the negative 1. So it's going to be 5x minus 2x and then plus 2. And I know some of you are going, whoa, why is it plus 2? Well, negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. All right. You are then going to combine like terms. Your like terms are always only on one side of the equal sign. You can't combine like terms across the fence, right? So it's only on one side. So the like terms on this side are 5x and negative 2x, which gives you 3x. And then there are no other like terms. The last step, or the second to last step, is to get the 3x alone. So you ask yourself, what is stopping the 3x from being alone? The plus 2. What's the opposite? Subtract 2, which leaves you with 3x on this side and 9 on that side. You are almost done. Your last step is to get the x all the way alone. Right now it's multiplying with a 3, so you're going to divide by 3, which gives you x equals 3 because 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the idea here is if I were to go back up to my original equation and put 3 in for x, solve that side, right? Everywhere you see an x, solve that side. I should get an 11 on the left side to match the right side. So let's continue and get to a little bit more challenging things. So here we have one that's, a pretty tough one because we've got a fraction bar, we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. But honestly, it's the exact same thing. You're just going to undo whatever you're looking at. So first thing we're going to do is try to get that whole fraction bar piece alone. We're trying to get this giant chunk here all by itself. So what am I going to do to start? I'm going to add 8. That will get that giant chunk all alone. So I end up with this guy on this side, and on the right side, 32 plus 8 is 40. All right. My next job is to get rid of the fraction bar. So my goal is to get rid of this thing right here. So what am I going to do? I am going to look at this and say, well, what's the 3 doing with this thing? Well, it's dividing. It's basically 2 times the sum of x plus 4 divided by 3. So to get rid of divided by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3, and I'm going to do that on both sides. That will leave me with 2 times the sum of x plus 4 is equal to 120. There is a shortcut that you could use right here, but for right now, I just want you to go ahead and distribute. And if you know the shortcut, you can use the shortcut. But for right now, I just want you to distribute and solve old school. So now we have a 2-step equation. I'm going to subtract 8. I'm going to try not to run out of room. I am then going to end up with 2x on the left side. And 120 minus 8 is 112. I'm then going to divide by 2, which gives me 56. So the idea is everywhere I see an x, I put in the original equation, I put in 56. I should have the left side be equal to 32. Okay, let's try this one together. And if you haven't yet gotten a pencil out and written this stuff down, please write this one down. Let's do this one together. I'm going to let you stay about 1 step ahead of me so we can make sure that this makes sense to you. Again, I always put a line down, or it's helpful for a lot of kids to put a line down there. So my first step would be to try to get that fraction chunk alone. So I'm going to get rid of that 4. It's adding 4, so what am I going to do? I'm going to subtract 4. Didn't mean to write in yellow, but I guess we can still see it. I end up with this fraction chunk that we talked about a second ago. And now I want to get it to not be a fraction anymore. So I want to get rid of this little dude here on the bottom. That's dividing by 2. So what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply by 2. That will cross out my 2's, leave me with 3x minus 1, and 5 times 2 is 10. All right, it's now a basic two-step equation, so I'm going to get rid of the negative 1, and generally speaking, you always get rid of the plus minus first when it is a two-step equation, which will give me 3x equals 11. I then divide by 3, and you will find that I most often want you to leave it as an improper fraction, but if you're one of those people that really like mixed numbers, it would be 3, because 11 goes into 3 goes into 11, 3 times 9, 10, 11 with 2 left over, so it's 3 2/3. I would accept either one, but most often I like the improper fraction. On this very last page, I want you to use this as an exit ticket, meaning pick the level that you think is most appropriate for you, write it down on a piece of paper, solve it, so that you can then submit it to your teacher later. Thanks for playing.